Hello and welcome to Goddess Resurrection. My name is Britta and I am your host, and today's episode is on connecting with your divine source energy for inspired action. We will talk about how in these years and decades to come, it is going to be up to you to find your path, your way onto your highest timeline. It's not up to others anymore. We're not meant to be seeking that information from psychics or mediums or healers or guides or Buddhas or whatever it is, right? There are so many, or even friends or family members. We are called to depend on ourselves. We are called now to truly tap in, connect to self, be in this inner identification, and to live from that place and to listen to that guidance and to follow that guidance and to trust that guidance so that we ourselves are responsible for our growth, for our path, for our manifestations, right? So, but before we dive in, I want to say hello, of course. How are you, my sweet sisters? I hope you are well. I hope you are breathing and feeling. The energies certainly have been quite intense, and that's a good thing. That's good news. I hope you are purging. I hope you are embracing it and you're breathing and feeling through all of the moments so that you stay in your center, so that you stay in this understanding of what is happening and what is your responsibility, right? To assist it and to really allow these energies to move through as easily and as effortlessly as possible. Good. So let's join in the breath, please. Join me in the breath. Nice, deep, slow, conscious in and exhales. Remember that it is the breath, your conscious, deep, slow breath that connects you into yourself, into your inner true self. And to stay connected, using the breath is not only the connection tool, but also the maintaining tool to stay in yourself, in your feminine energy, first and foremost, and then from this place, life will unfold beautifully. So as you are breathing, go ahead and relax yourself. Keep your eyes open as I am going to dive in. So this podcast was inspired by a client, and she has been focusing on her healing for some time, and she's known all of the spiritual truths and wisdoms, what to say, what's correct, how to be, right? But it was very much still a mental concept. It was only until these past 8 months where she had to get into some illness in order for her to actually truly slow down, in order for her to actually truly understand what it means to be in your masculine energy versus in your feminine energy. And so it was really this time over the past 8 months where she was ill and was needing to rest and having to recover, right, from tremendous burnout, and her nervous system was fried. And this is, by the way, happening to so many people. So many of us are going through this pressure, really, truly, to get us to stay resting, to get us to stay slowed down, to get us to really change pace, shift gears. And so with much fussing and fighting in the beginning, she surrendered, right? So she then understood slowly but surely that this was happening for her. And she then began to slowly but surely practice being in her feminine energy. And, that was really difficult in and of itself, because her ego and her thinking, of course, wanted to fix it, go to the doctors, run to the doctors, find a solution, take the pills, fix it, so she can get back to her life and run around and be busy and extend her energy and move her energy outward, right, to affect others. And it's really now that she's beginning to realize that, oh, right, that is what depleted me in the first place. That is what actually then was the creation of these past 8 months, where I couldn't move, where I needed to rest in order for me to recognize that no longer can I continue to live and push and overschedule and exist within my masculine energy? So now she's in a place where, yes, the ego and the thinking is still trying to throw in doubts, still trying to throw in fears, still trying to throw in worries, yes, but much less so. And she's really, truly now committed to being in her feminine energy more and more and more so, right? And that's obviously, as you know, a practice in and of itself, right? Because we're so conditioned, we're so used to being in our masculine energy and living from that place forever. Not just this lifetime, all lifetimes, really. And so it was really cute, right? So she was like, okay, so now looking into the future and how am I gonna now go about what's next? How am I now gonna know what I'm supposed to do next? And, how am I gonna manifest my new timeline and where am I supposed to be? And I would love to know these things. And who do I talk to? And she asks me, right? She's like, so when we do start our sessions and you open up sacred space and you bring in your guides and your goddesses and your angels and your spirit helpers and everybody, do you talk to them? Do you have communications with them in regard to your process and your guidance? And because she really wants to now also have that communication so she can get answers for herself, right? For her unfolding. And so I was like, oh, well, so she basically asked me, who do I talk to? Who's the boss? Who do I talk to to get this information? And it was so cute. And I was like, well, you talk to yourself. Right? So because when I bring in my team, my support team for the work, that's obviously to assist with the work. But for me personally, they will give me guidance in regard to, you need to slow down or, relax, or, you know what I mean? They give me guidance as to how to move more deeply into myself. I'm not getting a 1 year, 5 year plan. I'm not getting specific information as to what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm not getting a list of people to reach out to, and so that's what I said to her. I said to her, look, yes, we have support surrounding us, and yes, we can communicate with source, and yes, we can of course connect with our guides and ancestors and spirit helpers and the angels. Yes, absolutely. But they are not meant to tell you what you're supposed to do. Nobody is supposed to tell you what you're supposed to do. not the spirit world, not the earthly world. Everybody is here to be of support to one another, yes, but not to tell what to do. There's a big difference, right? We can be here to give each other support and listen and, sometimes give some advice, sure, or just to be there and hold space and to support in that warmth and that presence. But moving forward, we're really now called to be in our independence. We're really now called to be in our own self, right? And so from there, she was talking about, well, because I'm a little lost there, she says, because this is the planet of free choice. Yes? And I said, yes, this is the planet of free choice. And she felt confused about, well, how am I supposed to know what to do? I mean, I could go any which way. And I said, true, yes. And in the end, again, you are responsible for your manifestations. And you're supposed to feel, right? This is now for you to feel your way forward. It's for you to touch into that inner wisdom so deeply, to stay connected to yourself so consistently that you will know, you will feel, you will fine-tune. It'll become easier and easier to listen. It'll become easier and simpler and more normal to feel your inner guidance, which is you, right? You are source. And she says, well, is source all of me? Or am I just a small part of source? And I said, well, both. And she said, so it's like we could call the sun source and I'm like a beam, a sun beam. And I said, yes, just like that. And mind you, whatever we want to connect to, you may call it God or goddess or source or universe or essence or the divine, right? Whatever you feel comfortable naming it. Let's call it source in this episode. I like to call it light, right? For me, it's light, but also source. Of course, source is light and light is source. So then we began talking about this concept of, well, how am I able to access the sun as the sunbeam? And I said to her, well, so you as the beam are one with the sun. You are the sun. You are an extension of the sun, right? You are a creation of the sun. You belong with the sun. You are one with the sun. And in order for you to connect with the sun, you connect into yourself as the sun. You are it. So as the sunbeam, you're not looking around, trying to identify or trying to find approval or trying to find identification externally. You as the beam are meant to connect into yourself, into your most inner sun self. And therefore, now let's take it another step. As the sun, you think of it as that the part of you that's this beam, the part of you that's playing this human experience, the part of you that's the extension of source. You have very specific intentions for this incarnation. You have very specific contracts with other souls. You have highest potential timelines laid out for yourself. You are here to purge and heal and illuminate your soul and to ascend. And you, the extension of source that you are, you know exactly how that is meant to unfold. You know exactly whom you're going to meet and what are the circumstances and what are the lessons you're still needing to learn and what's the karma you're still needing to clear and what are the highest intentions, the highest timeline possibilities, and the other ones, the lower ones, in case you choose to stay in fear or doubt or worry. And she says, well, but wouldn't the sun help me to not stay in fear or doubt or worry? And I said, not really. The sun loves you unconditionally. Source loves you unconditionally. Source is not attached to you ascending in this lifetime. If you do not choose to ascend in this lifetime, then you will come back and you will try to do the same thing again and again and again. And so the sun or source itself has no agenda, has no attachment to you accomplishing your highest timeline. The source has no attachment to you accomplishing certain goals for this lifetime, intentions for this lifetime. Whether or not you clear your karma or not, it really doesn't matter to source, because it's your responsibility, the soul that you are. So she goes, okay, so then I'm separate. And yes, in this form, you are semi-separate. You are one with the sun. You are one with source. You are an extension of it. You are the sunbeam, yes. But the individual soul that you are, you have your own support team. You have your own focus and intention set on this experience. And it is completely and entirely up to you to choose that. Hence, this is free choice. This is the planet of free choice, yes. And so this part of you that is in this earthly experience, here to ascend your soul, you will always be loved by source. But the consequences of your choices, hence free choice, are always going to be yours to carry. You and only you will be responsible for the consequences of your choices. Good, bad, indifferent, it doesn't matter. And so therefore, the recognition of the importance of that, yes, you are source. You are that within yourself. You hold that within yourself. And so this inner connection that is the key to this inner guidance, to your source self, and that guidance from within yourself is the key to your ascension. Because moving forward, if we listen to outside forces, no matter who it is, no matter how well intended it may be, it is not going to be authentic from within. It may inspire inner guidance. That will be good. So sometimes it's nice to get somebody's opinion, or sometimes it's nice to get somebody's input or insight. Absolutely, right? Or sometimes it's nice to get some confirmation. Let's say you're working with a practitioner, right? Sometimes it's nice to hear that, yes, absolutely, I could certainly see this path for you unfolding. Yes, absolutely. But in the end, only you, only I, us for ourselves are responsible. We are responsible for our own creation. And to really get clear on what is it that I want to create. And I said to her, what is it that you want to create? What are you here for? What was your intention for this incarnation? Your purpose, your mission? on a soul level, that information is already within you. It already exists. All the information that you need already is within you. It already is there. It's already who you are. You are always co-creating with Source, with the Sun, with the support team, the highest unfolding, the highest possibilities. And so here is, again, for you to stay connected into yourself, is you working with yourself as Source, is you working with yourself as the Sun, is you working with yourself, giving yourself infinite possibility, potential, right? Because you as the Sun, you as Source, you are infinite possibility. And to stay in this inner connection, to stay in this vibration of infinite possibility will basically just create the path forward. You will know step by step, moment by moment, breath by breath, which choices to choose, right? And hence the inspired action. Inspired action is coming from your highest vibration self, is coming from your inner Source self, right? And this is when you feel and when you know and you get the downloads, or you have that insight, or you have that moment and you, oh yes, that's the inspired action that comes from within. And so the more that you follow this guidance and trust it, and stay connected to yourself, and listen to your body, and listen to your soul, and listen to your higher mind, and listen to your being, to your light, the easier it will be and the stronger you will become. And so now, what does this feel like? What does this feel like, this inner connection? What does it feel like for you to be in your Source self, in your Sun self, in your inner true self? What does it feel like to be sure that you get the right guidance, to be sure that you're receiving the guidance from the right place? So generally, and of course, you and only you can truly know when you're in your essence, when you are in your true self, in your Sun, in your Source self. Generally, it's a warm feeling, it's a warmth, right? This is what I said to her too, and this is what she connected into as we were practicing in the session. Yes, it's a warm feeling. It's a warm feeling, and it's very calm and it's peaceful. And I encouraged her to ask questions, and she did ask questions, and she did hear answers. And it was a very quiet voice. It was a whisper. It was so slight. And so she repeated to me the answers, and I said, well, that is wonderful. How do you feel about these answers? And she said, well, how do I know I can trust them? How do I know I can trust these answers? How do I know this is my Sun Source self? How do I know this is the real me, my essence, my light speaking? How do I know? And I said, well, this is the feeling, right? This is the feeling realm of communication. And you will get more familiar and comfortable with this inner communication. You will, I promise. But as long as it's feeling warm, it's not heady, it's in the stomach area, it's in the belly, it's in the solar plexus, even in the heart. But it's definitely heart and below that we are in the feeling of our inner knowing, the sensing, the knowing, right? The intuition, the gut, that beautiful inner guidance. It is always, always, always grounded. It is feeling peaceful and calm and warm. That's what it feels like to me too. It feels like there's a warmth to it. There's a love to it, and it's always calm. It always has a calming influence. It always has a calming and peaceful guidance and energy to it. And so then from this place, begin to get used to it by listening to it more often, by communicating with it more regularly, right? It's like any relationship. You must nurture it in order for it to grow and strengthen. And in the beginning, it might be a soft voice. But this voice is going to grow stronger. This inner communication is going to grow stronger in its presence, in its voice volume, in its, power that comes from it. And it's going to, and this is the most beautiful part about it, it's going to make you feel strong. It's going to make you feel courageous. It's going to make you feel that clarity. It's going to give you that experience and support you in the experience of authentic empowerment. And it's going to be honest, and it's going to be really beautifully compassionate and respectful to self and to others always, right? This inner warmth and peaceful, grounded clarity is never, ever going to talk about separation or manipulation or, getting one over on another person, right? That's the heady stuff. That's the ego voice most of the time. And so it's quite a simple distinction. It just takes practice. It just takes quieting down enough. It just takes listening enough. So this inner voice will feel the space to speak more because you're listening, right? It's a two-way street, and the more you are listening, the more it will be there. The more you're finding your center and inner connection and staying there, the more natural it will become, the more you are feeling this identification, this belonging, this true self, you as you. And so the main things to look for in the beginning, yes, it's about you looking for the warmth. It's about you trusting this calm, this peaceful, this quiet voice in its clarity, in its loving, supportive feeling. And the more that you trust it and follow this inner voice, this guidance, this knowing, the more you will see the results. And then when you begin to see the results, then it's going to be a no-brainer, right? Once you've got it, you've got it. It's just in the beginning that's a little bit, like a Bambi on the shaky legs. You're like, am I doing it right? Am I doing it right? Yes, you're doing it right. It's normal for it to be a little bit shaky in the beginning because it's new. You're learning a new communication. You're learning a new language. You're learning a feeling, knowing, sensing, receiving from within communication/language. And so this is what you need to open up to and open your receptors to and get used to, and not listening to the head, but instead being within your body, on the inside of you. That is, of course, going to make that big difference. And it's going to shift your life, and it's going to be this beautiful source, this well of guidance and support and warmth and health and light embodiment and ascension for you. You will have, and you have already, of course, but the more that you are connecting, the more you will have all of the information, all of the wisdom, all of the guidance you could ever use or need in any given moment. Because it's you guiding you, the human you, your human character, that you as the extension of the sunbeam are playing. That you as the extension of source are playing. And so therefore, connecting with your own divine source energy within, making sure you look to yourself, go within, look within, listen within, connect to the divine source within yourself. And only yourself. It's wonderful to have the support, but in the end, it's not to depend on the external in any which way any longer, but to truly become so independent in yourself. And within this independence, you will, of course, connect to the oneness with all that is. But it's through going within and being independent within yourself that you open to the oneness of all that is, as yourself, as source, as yourself, as the beautiful, beautiful shining sun that you are. Good. So from here, I am sending love and light blessings to you and yours. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for your time, for your energy, for your presence here on this platform. Please do share, subscribe, like. Love and light blessings. Mwah. Hugs and kisses. Ciao for now.